Hello, welcome to my channel where we're gonna deep dive and deconstruct some of the most meaningful journals and essays. And today we're going to look over an online article from a blog that's about procrastination. And the link of the article is in the description below. So in today's video, we're going to firstly go over the introduction, body, and conclusion of the article, and then toss up 3 comprehensive questions and answer them all. And then, in the end, jump to my reflection and some thoughts about procrastination. So, the article doesn't cut the chase by mentioning the definition of procrastination and the topic at the very beginning. Instead, it throws out an example that many procrastinators do and can relate to strongly, which is the embodiment of procrastinating. This is how procrastinators behave and think. So it does start with an appealing intro that gives the readers a brief statement, the background, and the core argument. Then the author elaborates on the cause of procrastination by illustrating the possible symptoms and the source of procrastination, which are hypervigilance, childhood experience, and the fear of failure. The author's use of the second-person perspective not only brings readers closer, but also indirectly constructs resonance and a sense of involvement. This approach further encourages readers to identify with the author's standpoint, and so that they can continue reading the following paragraphs with the same view. Then it teases the main information in this post, which is the causes of the procrastination in the workplace, and gives some tools to help the readers conquer it. Procrastination may arise from underlying factors such as trauma, anxiety, or depression. When facing tasks, reacting to them by skirting around would create a negative cycle of avoidance behavior. While procrastination temporarily relieves anxiety, it ultimately increases stress and anxiety. Procrastination does not signify laziness, but rather the body being in a threatened state, with the brain inclined towards escape and avoidance deportment. Procrastination can be a way to flee from difficult emotions or experiences at work. By avoiding a task, people might be steering clear of associated emotions or experiences. Prolonged procrastination can hinder achievements, sometimes originating from childhood fears of failure and criticism. Cultivating self-compassion and a growth mindset can assist them in overcoming procrastination. Harvard Medical School suggests these 4 evidence approaches to maintaining a healthy mindset, which are taking care of your body, writing yourself an encouraging letter, offering self-affirmations, and practicing mindfulness. Hypervigilance, as a dysfunction of one's nervous system, burns a lot of one's brain power and energy. It is described as an elevated state of awareness and alertness, often characterized by an intense and consistent concentration of potential threats or dangers. Simply put, they cannot let down their guard, even though they are in a safe environment and they know it. Hypervigilance can be a symptom of conditions like anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, which abbreviates as PTSD, or certain other mental health issues. Individuals experiencing may be excessively watchful, easily startled, and have trouble relaxing due to an ongoing sense of perceived jeopardy. And procrastination is one of the results of hypervigilance, since one has to sacrifice what they want or need to do in order to be ready to protect themselves, which is simply exhausting and draining one's energy to engage in work tasks. Awareness is the first step in dealing with it and building resilience. The article also provides some practical methods and to ameliorate this circumstance, such as taking a deep breath and staying still, pausing a little bit before reacting, acknowledging strong emotions but not giving to it, and setting boundaries. Chronic workplace procrastination liquidates success and potential, causing missed deadlines, reduced productivity, and lost opportunities. The fear of failure often serves as a common root. Negative childhood feedback can instill a fear of failure. Physical Today notes that a supportive upbringing, meeting emotional needs, and encouragement to take risks can whittle down this kind of fear and develop boldness. Conversely, someone may develop a lingering fear of failure in the workplace. The fear in the professional realm, which has become a significant obstacle, can sabotage one's capability of taking risks and stepping outside their comfort zones. The apprehension of potential failure leads to the procrastination as a self-protective mechanism, as they believe avoiding tasks shields them from making mistakes and facing associated consequences. But working with a mental health professional for cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can still help unveil the reasons and overcome procrastination through strategies. If you face chronic procrastination at work, it's very imperative to identify the source. Then the author lists some methods proposed by a professional to overcome procrastination and develop a healthier propensity, such as create a list activities that you do to avoid tasks. Ask and find out what you are avoiding and think about it. Acknowledge the emotions and allow yourself to sit with them. Make plans and start right now. Reward yourself. And break tasks into smaller parts and take steps for a sense of progress. Identify peak energy times for optional task scheduling. For instance, tackle demanding tasks in the morning for better focus. In conclusion, workplace procrastination is a miscellaneous issue with various causes, but all procrastinators have to do is just practice self-compassion. Take time until you gradually improve through steps. Never rush, then everyone can achieve their goals and have a desirable, productive life. And for question number 1, the reasons behind procrastination might be the dread of harsh judgment and grading results. In other words, they are tired of being disappointed and trying to evade desperation by preferring not to see the grade, or one is afraid of his or her performance being dissected and critiqued because of the volatile mind of gain and loss, which is an indicator of low ego strength and deeming themselves inferiors. This leads to a behavioral tendency to keep delaying tasks, which causes them to become avoiders. Another reason might be the ceaseless pursuit of perfection. They initially set an high goal and hold themselves to a strict standard, and then in the middle of the process, they keep ruminating about whether to add more glamour to flavor the content, modify something, or look back to revise a part of the project that is not good enough, even though it's already been done several weeks ago. There is no ultimate accomplishment, only chasing the ceilingless perfection and a sense of contentment that is never going to emerge. These indecisives would never get enough and cannot stop questing for better work and output by feeling unpleased on their own task and keep amending it to the degree of finally getting enough for the moment, overdoing the embellishment to seek perfection also lengthens the duration of doing a task and becomes one of the reasons why people procrastinate. For question number 2, procrastination can let people get a sense of gratification, relief, and satisfaction for a short time to escape frustration because of unwillingness and the fear of censure and denunciation, which stem from low self-esteem or perfectionism. Sometimes they just want to seek pleasure and give themselves some treats to enjoy because of the naughty gratification monkey in their brains. And it's not about hedonism, it's just this uncontrollability in their mind and behavior. They cannot help but put off the important things that they are supposed to do in order to have fun first. But what the procrastinators don't know or are aware of it, but rather not to confess, is that this seemingly nice way to temporarily exempt from the negative emotions and stress would end up bringing more stress, resulting in a much longer period of despairiness and unhappiness. And for question 3, there are many ways to conquer it. But for me, the most effective and practical way is to choose the right location to work on your tasks. The place must be interruption free. A spot with good lighting and a clear surface, with plenty of room to spread out your materials so that you don't get allured and start doing something else, like napping or watching TV. Picking a nice place to do your tasks can help eliminate distractions and let your brain know it's time to focus on serious things. In the past, I used to think that procrastinators were contradictory. Of course, everyone has unwilling things to do, but procrastinators don't think of battling against them and letting things dissolve. Instead, they postpone tasks irrationally because they don't want depression to thump them into smashed pieces. Who doesn't want to skip the difficult part and enjoy only the fun things? But intentionally delaying tasks or abstaining from completing an obligation is not an ideal way to deal with tasks that you are supposed to do. The more you dodge facing the things you turn away from, the more they come back to you. Even if they are aware of the fact that shunning stress can only lead to greater stress, they cannot help but avoid tasks anyway, and then regret it immediately by saying that they just cannot help it. Some excuses that I beg to differ. But now I realize that there's much deeper rationale and psychological explanations for latency of procrastination. It's not just mere diversions and reluctance. It's far more complex and multifaceted. There are mixed causes intertwined, waiting for experts to detect, and it's hard to find a solely specific factor that contributes to the act of procrastination.